Oh, hello. Good morning, world. Uh, okay. All right. Good morning, world, and myself in the future watching this. Um, Today is a random Tuesday. Today is just a normal, regular Tuesday for the rest of the world, but for myself now and for myself in the future watching this, today is a very significant Tuesday because today marks the very last Tuesday in my entire existence on this planet that I will be in my 20s. When next Tuesday rolls around, I am officially going to be 30. And when I wake up around this time tomorrow, I am gonna be in my 30s, not in my 20s anymore. And so I'm gonna make this video to just kind of leave some parting thoughts for the future, for my future self to watch, to know what I'm thinking about on my last day of being in my 20s. And that's really the only kind of goal I have for making this video. And so I'm gonna start talking about kind of like, what my 20s looked like. So the first half of your 20s was a lot of inconsistencies and a lot of adventures and misadventures. Um, um, but there was also a lot of inconsistency at that time because you were experimenting on a lot of things. You were like not sure what your major was, so like pretty much every semester you were like this declaring a new major, and you were even at a point where you were considering if like college is for you or if you should even be in college. And also you quit like a lot of jobs. So there was trying to figure out like where you fit in this world, and what your passions are, and pursuing those things have been kind of like the crux of what your early 20s was. But it was the way that like that unfolded was just a lot of it was very turbulent because you didn't really kind of commit to just like a certain thing up until like maybe when you hit your middle 20s and you kind of pulled it together a little bit more. And then I would say that like the middle 20s and on has been a little bit more challenging compared to the earlier part of your 20s because, in the latter part, you really kind of challenge yourself to go and make and face the things that you were afraid of. And, I would say that even up until this point, one of the biggest things that like you're really sort of struggling with is commitments, because walking away from things or quitting things is a lot easier compared to like sticking with something that that you're gonna like pursue because it's something that you're passionate about. And so while I want to say that like all that lollygagging in my like in your beginning like part of your 20s was a waste of time, I would also say that they do give you a fuller appreciation for where you are now and for what you've overcome. um, and even if you like always say, hey, I'm gonna quit this or I'm not gonna do this or screw this, that you keep doing them because you've really learned that you just kind of have to pursue what your passion is, or what your passions are. And you also kind of have been learning that walking away from things or quitting things isn't really the way to get to where you want to be. And so I am proud of you for overcoming that milestone and overcoming a whole new decade, a whole decade of just a lot of inconsistent and turbulence, and also those turbulences and those adventures leading to like where you are now and having a fuller appreciation of life is definitely kind of like not so much the gray area or the silver lining, but it like low-key is. But I'm very, very excited that you've made it this far. Being a 30-year-old woman seemed like such a distant concept not too long ago, and now here you are, going into this new milestone and adding another like year to your existence. Ooh. And then like when you look back on this, 10 years from now when you're like 39 or 40, ooh, that's a lot more years added on to what's going to be added on tomorrow. I really hope that you get to a point where you are happy with the choices that you've made with your life. Whatever you do in the next year, I hope that you're passionate about that stuff, and whatever you decide to do after you finish school, and whatever endeavor you become a part of, and that you're happy with the choices that you make, that when you come home at the end of the day, uh, you feel pride in the work that you've done, when you do join the world and get a big girl job or something like that happens after school. But and even if you don't, even if you have to overcome challenges again to get to where you want to get, you keep you keep pursuing them, and you don't quit no matter how hard it gets. And if you do have to make changes where you do have to quit, have an honest conversation with yourself and tell yourself, will I be happy if I don't go on this route, or will I be happy if I go on this route? Whatever makes you happy, you pursue that, because I find that you pursue the things that make you happy even though you should have done them sooner, because your self keeps telling you, do them, do them, do them, but you don't, because we'll eventually get over this fear of commitment. I mean, you haven't like quit grad school, you haven't quit your undergrad, and you still haven't quit you haven't quit grad school, and you're almost like 1 year away from like finishing getting a degree, so you keep going. um, and whatever endeavor that you do after you finish school, I hope it's something that you're happy to be a part of. But following that, you're gonna have a very busy day. You should probably end this video soon, because you still have to eat breakfast and then check in with work and like do schoolwork and then more work, because you're kind of a workaholic, but that's beside the point. And also, the one last thing I will mention before we break, is that you are not able to go on the trip that you wanted to go this summer, because we all have to play our part to help flatten the curve, and some kind of a little bit bummed about that. But that means that next summer, you know you're going to be in a different place, because around the time by the time summer rolls around next year, you would have been graduated, and you won't have as many commitments as you have now. And so I dare you to go hike the Appalachian Trail. Part of it, all of it, I don't care, just go hike it. Or even if you don't do the Appalachian Trail and you do the PCT, I think it's the Pacific Crest Trail, that's totally fine with me. But that's just been like at the back of your head, since you were like 27, 28, and you keep saying you're going to do it. And I really hope that that is something that you will be able to do, as you welcome this new decade into your life. Overall, just stay happy. Keep this like love for life that you have, and keep persevering, and keep being persistent, no matter how tough the going gets. That really has been the only fuel that's helped you to get to where you are now, and haven't quit school yet, and haven't quit any jobs anytime recently, so that's good. But following that, I hope you have a wonderful celebration tomorrow, and I hope you also have a fantastic decade ahead. Bye.